smooth, actually. Yeah, well, spoke too soon.
Except for that.
Spoke way too soon. It's a Sports Den. Merry Christmas to everybody. Is this our last show before Christmas, or are we doing one Friday?
We can do one Friday.
What time are you going to be back?
I'll be back probably around 11.
Okay. Because Friday's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, like what I'm learning, even remembering as a kid when we would travel, go places, you could travel the day of a holiday. The later you do it, the more likely the roads are going to be crowded.
Oh yeah.
So like if we get up, when we head to Tallahassee tomorrow, first thing in the morning. When we come back, first thing in the morning. Keep the kids.
Well,
sleep.
we should definitely do one Friday, and we should definitely make it a whiskey show since I don't have to work on Christmas Eve.
I don't really. My mama don't think I got a job as it is. So let's do it.
Is whiskey at 11 a.m. appropriate?
I mean,
on holiday it is.
Holiday. It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock everywhere.
On holiday.
On holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Santa's flying through the air. Like
he's drinking.
He's drinking, of course.
Yeah. So maybe we'll have the Santa tracker on the TV behind us.
That'd be clutch.
Yeah. ABC and executive and all them, they would be fine with that. Just one show. Everybody knows you go to ABC for anything that you need to drink, especially over the holidays. Always be celebrating.
Get Rain Man to put.
I don't like Christmas being on a Saturday at all. No. I'm a midweek Christmas guy. Like I want the middle of the week. It's getting into my money being on a Saturday.
Oh, well, they're out of school anyway, so it doesn't matter.
We don't mess with our schedule, man. Our schedule.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. Like to me, the reason why I don't like it when it's in the middle of the week, you might as well take that week. I got to take that week off.
Yeah,
because nobody's Christmas Eve. You may find that one or two really overzealous parents that want to get their kid in, but we would work half a day when I had the gym. We work half a day. Christmas is done, so really you got Monday. Full day, like say it's on a Wednesday, Monday full day, Tuesday that half day is like whatever, Wednesday nothing. Parents are hungover, or that Christmas high energy. Unless you got like you're really really elite guys, your business is specific to guys who need to get better.
Yeah, we're slammed on the 26th.
Like we'll have. My problem is that I would have like my 10 clients that would train whenever, but they didn't come at the same time. So, like, if I can get them all in at 8 a.m., be great. But this problem, one person wants to come this time, and that person wants. So now you're spreading it out. You got people who want to pay. I can't have large groups anyway during that time because none of my trainers were from here. So they all wanted to go home and pretend like they had lives. So that put everything on me. And then I'm cool to get out of the house. So I mean, I think
for me too, like we're doing this Christmas camp right after this holiday camp right after.
But I see why
you're calling it a holiday camp, but it's really we're doing them every 7 weeks. And dude, the planning for that stuff is like we're charging $995. It's $995 for a 3-day camp. By the way, one spot literally just opened up right before. Kid that was going to come in from Idaho can't make it. So 6pointsjacks.com.
They play football in
high school only though, because the rest of it's kind of sold out right now. So, but the planning has been exhausting. And it's like people see $995, they see the kid, they start doing the math in their head. Y'all, your math don't add up. Just trust me on this. In this business.
They're saying they're looking at $300, 3-day camp.
Yeah,
they're like, oh god, $300. But then you're like, they're spending like 8 hours there,
bro. We are. It's 5 hours the first night, then it's 13 hours the second day, then it's 4 hours the next day.
So basically,
fully staffed, shutting everything else down.
What you're paying for is the equivalent of like if you went a month of training.
We did this in training and classroom time. It'd be 2 months.
Yes, I mean that's par for the course.
Yeah. So I think just the combination of that, like I'm just ready to get through these holidays, and get on into 2020. I'm a New Year's guy, dude.
I know we got to get into sports events.
No, we really don't.
But why do people do that?
What?
Like, so my world is different. I still train. But I don't like it.
Your world is kind of dope right now. I can't lie. I'm a little jealous of you right now.
I train when I want to, and I put I'm going to be honest with you. If you're listening to this and you're a client, I don't know where the number comes from. It's just whatever the number is that can get me out of bed that day. So like in that day, you might have just like caught me on a good day. But it might be the next day, like when I get a good group of people training, I got to work 6 hours that week in training. You know what I think? Start thinking, I don't want to do this shit no more. Mm-hmm. So the next person that asks me, your price goes up because now you have the only thing you have to compete with is my memory foam Serta. You're not competing with like other I don't like.
You don't care about another trainer.
Like fifth quarter's doing really well. This is doing pretty decent. Some of the other investments that I've done in January, February, I started doing my Army camp stuff again. Like it's my life's not bad. The nonprofit did well, not bad. But like it's that person that calls you, that got referred to you, that's ready, that has all of these problems with their kids. They're telling me all these problems. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I can fix it if the kid wants to get work. And I tell you my price.
Yep.
And then you tell me why so much. Why did you call me?
Right.
Like you could go anywhere else. Listen, my price is my price.
We could do a whole show on this because, you know, I'm not the first one to say it, but you're not paying me for my time. You're paying me for the last 15 years that I've been learning this shit and have become one of the top. I think I'll be modest and say 5 in the country at what I do.
I agree with you.
Like that's I don't really know what the
other guys do, but yeah, I agree with you.
Like, so if you don't like it, then go somewhere else. That's fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings at all. So anyway, we got all that to say. We'll do a Friday show.
Yeah.
By the way, we're starting off the show and there's like a breaking story in Jacksonville right now about the Gator Bowl. And I haven't really read it, but from what I can decipher, Texas A&M ain't coming.
Mm-hmm. Jimbo not trying to take that L, man.
Well, it's got to be another SEC team because SEC ain't just giving that money up.
You know what? You know what they should do? Because Gator Bowl is it SEC? Is ACC? Mm-hmm. SEC, unless is it which one of them do they have an opt out for?
Is it Big Ten? Because Indiana was here a couple years. It's got to be
okay. Because I don't know when they changed it. Because I remember, there's been a Big 12 team. But my point with that,
they're having a Big 12 team.
Yeah, I saw.
Maybe it's a Big 12.
Not Blackman. The other one. Remember how they had 2 good receivers back to back. The subpar receiver. Remember when my man from San Francisco was like, not San Francisco, from the Seahawks that was beating up his wife's dad's door?
Yeah.
He was saying, don't put a subpar receiver over me. Anyways, I got a chance to watch him play with Oklahoma State. He was they played Texas. No, I bet he played at Texas Tech. I'm wrong. But I got a chance to see him play, and he was dope.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what they're going to do. I guess this is COVID related. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get more information on it. Is there anything from the official Gator Bowl account? Texas A&M, 10 minutes ago. Texas A&M withdraws participation in Tax Slayer Gator Bowl due to COVID-19 issues. Let me hit the full press release and see if they've said what their next move is because they got to play the game.
Yeah.
They got sponsors. They got TV contracts.
It's a bunch of other stuff that goes on that weekend that's not just related to the game. Like you got I remember, I didn't have to do this, but the seniors had to go. Seniors go visit the hospital. I guess they'll visit Wolfson's here. And it's a bunch of community events. Hopefully it's gotten better than it was in 2004, 05 Gator Bowl when I played here, 04 season, which was terrible.
I'm sure it's gotten better, bro. That's been 16 years.
I mean, 17 years. It was really bad. I'll never forget how bad it was.
Tax Slayer, here's their statement. It says the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl team has begun to aggressively work with the NCAA. The NCAA, I'm sorry, I'm reading this. I'm butchering this. Aggressively work with the NCAA, ESPN, and conferences to seek a replacement team over the next 24 to 48 hours. Once all options have been explored, we'll share further information pertaining to all facets of the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl game.
Man, go on over to Tyler. Tell Florida State to come on over here.
Can't do it.
We can't have 2 ACC teams?
Can't do it. No. Can't do it. I mean, I think that'd be dope. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, didn't Wake Forest already beat that ass once?
Yeah, they damn sure beat that ass.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think you can I can't imagine you can do that, but This is the problem. There's so many dang bowl games that you're going to have to reach for somebody who wasn't bowl eligible, aren't you?
Yes. It's not. It's actually at this point, I believe it's not about. And I'm gonna go back to what I was going to say about what Texas A&M should have to do. It's not about if you can. It's like who's prepared, because the bowl teams that aren't eligible are gone. They've sent people home. Even the bowl, like Bama sent their kids home. Not saying Bama would come, but they sent their guys home. Finals was a couple weeks ago at a lot of these schools. Mm-hmm. Who can get their base of guys to come back faster to be able to train for this game? And I think that's really where you have to look for. And on top of that, for the Gator Bowl, who's going to give you the biggest draw? Now it's Texas A&M messed up. You weren't caring about Wake Forest.
It was a great draw, but
you were caring about the Texas A&M because their people are going to travel.
It was a great
leaving
draw.
Texas, their first time coming to Florida, is going to be able to affect the local economy. It's going to buy hotel rooms and ticket sales. Ain't nobody else like you go get Ball State. I don't know if they're eligible. I'm just pulling out a random team on my ass. They're not coming on a dime like that.
No, it's going to cost the city a ton of money because Texas A&M was going to travel, and whoever you get, their fans are going to be able to make arrangements.
Right.
So I don't care who it is.
Right. So now I'm the only reason I say Florida State, even though that game's a rematch, you can pick. I don't know what you got to pick a regional team. The regional team is going to be able to at least bring people for a couple of days for your hotels. You're going to at least be able to buy tickets that'll be in a decent manner. And it's still going to be a crappy product because
what SEC teams did not make a bowl game? That's the other thing. Like I think I don't know. I'm going to look it up now. But if you look at like the SEC standings, I don't know how to look at that.
I mean, is South Carolina in a bowl?
I
mean, they're bowl eligible.
They got to be in a bowl then, right? Let's see. Go to NCAA football. SEC, where we at? This is great content right here. See, Missouri plays tonight. Florida plays tomorrow. Auburn's in. Mississippi State's in. South Carolina plays North Carolina December 30th. Tennessee's in.
LSU,
Alabama, Georgia, obviously. Arkansas, Kentucky, Ole Miss, LSU. And that leaves you Vanderbilt.
You don't have Vanderbilt's not. I'm assuming Vanderbilt's not 500.
No, gosh, no.
Or even close to it.
Does that leave anybody else?
Vanderbilt's 2-10. Oh my God! Wow.
Is everybody else in a bowl?
Everybody else is in a bowl game. Florida's the 5th worst team in the SEC East.
So you literally cannot fill this with an SEC team.
No.
But the problem is, and you may be right, it may have to be FSU, because if you go to the Big 12 and you go to the Big 10, you're probably looking at a very similar thing.
Go check it out right now.
There's probably not a lot of 5 and 7 teams.
You got Texas. That would be a big draw.
Oh, they're not in a bowl game?
Texas, TCU, and Kansas are the only. Wait a minute. Make sure. I think those are the only teams that aren't in one.
Hey, but here's the other problem. You know what these teams haven't been doing?
Those two teams are 5 and 7, but a lot of them haven't been practicing.
Beyond that, COVID protocols.
So you don't even know. You're right. You have to come in, immediately test everybody.
Yep.
And pray.
Yep.
That these young men have and their families have.
I mean, that goes for FSU too. That goes for anybody. Like they haven't been doing that. So I mean, this is going to be interesting because they're going to have to play the game. It may be bowls. Bowls may be the substitute.
You know what? I'm coming back around. Actually, not coming back around. I've always thought there were too many bowls. I just don't necessarily like the playoff thing. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are only 4 teams in the ACC. I think there were 2 teams in the Big 12 when I just looked at it. There's 1 team in the SEC. There are too many bowl games. I don't care what anybody, top to bottom. That no conference is
should
that
get everybody
damn good.
except for Vanderbilt.
And here's what would have happened if Florida State wouldn't have lost to Jacksonville State. They're in a bowl game. Syracuse lost a close game. Like the only 2 teams that didn't sniff a chance of going to the bowl game in the ACC are Georgia Tech and Duke. Like everybody else was comfortably in. It's just
this is crazy.
Too many.
And you know what? If this happened here, it's going to happen somewhere else.
Miami right now is in Miami might not be able to make their bowl game. I think we were talking about this off air about the Omarion, whatever it's called, or the Ed Orgeron virus, whatever it's called, the variant,
the orgasm virus.
People are getting the sniffles on this one. It's not as bad as the Delta. I'm assuming. Please, you tree loving bunny huggers, don't come in the comments and blast us. We're not being. I'm not even going there.
Well, I'm gonna go.
What I'm saying is that if there's enough mask up, when you're in a specialty profession, that brings in a lot of money, and you have agreed to a set of principles and protocols. If you can't make that game, Texas A&M, if Alabama and Georgia have to split my money for playing in the playoff game with you, then you owe me a bag.
Well, so
you need to run me my chips.
Let's do this. Let's put this on somebody else. So Ross Dellinger, this is a series of tweets he has. He writes for SI, and he's gathering more information on this. And I'm just going to read some of his tweets. He said,
"Is it Candy's fault?"
That's funny. He said he's talking about the Texas A&M thing, and apparently Alabama's having some issues now. Bill O'Brien and Doug Marrone have tested positive as well in Alabama. But there's let me get up to this tweet. He says, outbreaks in college sports happening for two reasons. Regular testing of unvaccinated symptomatic players are producing positives to trigger contact tracing. More positives and unvaccinated symptomatic athletes produce enough positives for team-wide testing. He says there's a debate, even among physicians, on whether an asymptomatic vaccinated young athlete should be contact traced and if positive. Should be isolated for 10 days with no symptoms. Says NCAA is in dialogue with the CDC. Then he goes on to say, I guess another group of doctors, somebody Bjork, says there's rhetoric about quit testing asymptomatic people. No one has said, is it a common cold yet? We're not there yet, talking about this variant.
Yeah.
Says, I don't believe that it's over with. There will be more teams impacted. This is spreading so fast. There's nothing we could have done different last week except not practice. We had every protocol still in place. It's so contagious. There will be more disruption.
You know what? Here's what I'm curious about. And this isn't about whether I believe you could be forced vaccination, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. You know who we don't hear about this stuff with? Saban. And Saban just made the announcement that all his guys are getting the booster on this day.
I just said he's got two coaches.
He got two coaches, Saban? My bad.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien and Doug Marrone.
So, but what I'm saying, okay, so the coaches got it, but how does, it's fine because he replaced it, but how do his play, you never hear, Michigan just went as a team to get this because you know what Michigan's not going to do? Right, wrong, and different they don't care how you feel about the virus. They ain't been in this position in decades. They might not win, but they're not going to let what I'm saying. But what they're not going to do is let the flu or common cold be the reason why they don't have a chance. If they're going to lose, they're going to lose on the field. People talk about buy-in and they talk about all these different things. Is it kind of crazy that the teams that simply do all the right things on the field are the ones that we aren't hearing about outbreaks with, that we aren't hearing about wild stuff
Either
with?
They're not having them or they're
not being reported.
Right.
Or they're handling it internally to where we don't know.
Right.
But the point is I guess in the greater scheme of things, are we voting for the wrong people?
What do you mean?
Should Nick Saban run for president? Could Nick Saban have had COVID?
Would you vote for Nick Saban?
I would vote for Nick Saban.
I think I would too. I think I'd have a yard sign, and I'm completely against that.
Do you know what Nick Saban wouldn't stand for? All the other stuff,
I'm assuming he's Republican. Yeah, I don't even know.
I
would assume. You can't be the coach of Alabama.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't care. But you know why I like him it doesn't matter to me. Because he's not on the side of what's right and wrong. He's on the side of what's going to win.
Yeah.
So when people were during early quarantine, when people was getting neck stomped on and choked out or whatever, half the world was like, and it's amazing too. He's the only person who could get both sides to cooperate. And this is what I mean. Half the world was like, just comply. If you would just comply, you wouldn't die. And his little colored boys was mad, and they were talking about they was concerned. Did you see what Saban did? Where Dabo was talking about follow Martin Luther King or some other BS that he was coming up with. Saban went out there and this is how I know he old, in penny loafers and led the march. You know how hard it is to walk in penny loafers?
The blisters?
Yeah. And the way he walked was like this. It wasn't, again, he knows where his bread is buttered. I got a team that's 85% like the people that y'all are saying need to comply. I'm not finna lose it. But his walk was like, and the way he looked, he was looking at the old white Alabama boosters. It's like, y'all done made me get in my penny loafers and walk here so that I could get these boys happy, so I could win games for y'all to cheer. Oh, somebody's got hell to pay.
You're right.
And when he did that, and the people got mad, this is when I was like, yo, this man needs to be president. They got mad and said, oh, well, I can't believe he did that. I'm not going to do it. He said, who said it? Who said it? You? Hey, athletic director, get his name. He never gets to come back in here again. No airplane ride, no tours. No, it was so over the top. How I'm exaggerating with the point, but he said this in the press. If you come out and say that, you'll never be able to spend a dime against Alabama again. That's when I learned that boosters like to pay for people, because that's what hurt people. It wasn't the fact that they were standing on their morals. He just said, I'll find your money. And he wins so much that people were like, so both sides fall in, and
so are we officially starting the Nick Saban for
anything to get him out of college football? Anything to get him out of college football. Like, I just don't. I'm tired. I want somebody else to have a chance to win. Probably. He probably would do a really good job of managing both. At least governor of Alabama. But like, I mean, it's just wow.
And before y'all get on to us about all this stuff, like, my man almost died from COVID. Get it.
Yeah,
we get it. All we're saying is, like, this variant we don't know about.
Yeah,
we're talking about this. We don't know about it.
Like, I'll be honest with you, when I heard about
early returns are like, it's not that bad.
When Delta came out stomping originally, that actually, I was like, okay. I was thinking in my head, I should go get the shot. I just didn't get a chance to get the shot before Delta got me.
It's probably just a package.
So like, it was, I was like, all right, I get it. But like, this one, I ain't hearing about kids and ventilators and stuff like that. Maybe it's bad press. I don't know. But
I think
they need a better PR person.
Miles, look out that window for me. Just make sure. But yeah, it seems like right now we have stuff to look. You ain't gonna look out the wall, homie. You have to go out the window.
But anyways, like we were saying, Nick Saban for president. If Nick Saban was coaching your team wouldn't have to worry about Omega Con or whatever.
Well, we'll find out what's going to happen with the Gator Bowl, but it certainly, I mean, it does seem like possibly the best option would be FSU.
I'm for it.
Let's
do it.
Are you though? Because you're losing you're not really getting the practice that you want from the bowl game.
No, we wouldn't practice. Well, yeah, you're right. You didn't get the prep.
Right.
Practices.
Which is the valuable part.
Yeah.
Although Florida's not taking advantage of that either. They didn't practice hardly at all.
You'll just fly. Like, you would literally just come
play
the 26, practice a couple of days here and then go. So it would be really 1 week. I'm just looking at it more so from a perspective of
get you back to 500. No, you wouldn't get you.
No, it wouldn't get us back to 500. I really don't care. They just Florida State's just coming to Jacksonville, and fiscally it would benefit.
Yeah, that's fair.
See some more
Florida
practices.
Bro, I think Florida's practiced like 2 or 3 times, and they play tomorrow.
I don't know who are their coaches.
That's got to be the weirdest. And it's not just Florida; it's any team that has this transition going on.
Can we go back to the way things used to be?
What?
Like, I don't even care about kids signing early per se.
I hate it.
I do, but it's not about, to me, it's when the coaches get fired, it disrupts everything. Mm-hmm. Like, what was
the old way though?
Like, just fire them after the season. Like let the season
that's
go.
Never going to happen anymore.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's not going to happen even more so because of early signing.
Well, it wouldn't happen either because of the public pressure and social media. And I mean, listen, what's going on at Florida is, I think, even a little stranger because you hired a guy who's like, his single focus right now is recruiting. Like, that's all he's worried about right now. And transfer portal and all that stuff. Well, I mean, 15 yards away, you got a team that's supposed to be practicing. Like, I mean, I've even heard things like he's scheduled workouts right around the same time as practice. Like, they're completely on different pages. And I was talking to somebody this morning. We did Gator Bites this morning. And Hacker was like, this is a big game because UCF and yada, and it's sold out and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, I don't even know that I'm gonna watch the game, and I don't care if they win. If UCF fans want bragging rights for a few months, then brag. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, if you watch that game, the one thing that I would tell you is, if you're watching as a fan, have fun. But if you really want to watch it to see what you can get out of it, just find 2 or 3 individual matchups and see how they're doing. Like, outside of that, this game is and they've shown it in the preparation.
This game means absolutely nothing.
There hasn't been
only means something.
Can you think of a bowl game that has meant less?
I'm trying to. At a certain point, when you have, if you're a professional in this industry, you have to talk in a professional manner. This only means something to fans who troll. That's all this means anything to. And the only reason it means something is you're afraid to lose the UCF in a meaningless game.
Right.
Now, if Dan Mullen wasn't fired,
completely different.
It's a completely different thing.
Different.
But you have a completely, matter of fact, this game actually prevents you from going ahead and ripping the Band-Aid off completely and moving forward.
It is stunting your growth.
If UCF beats you, which they probably could, and it's not because they're better than you at this point per se, you're just really, really weakened right now. Between transfer portal, you only have so many coaches that are able to coach, not caring. Half the kids seeing the new guy like doing stuff, and you want to go ahead and start impressing the new guy, and you don't even know if the offense you're running right now is going to be anything remotely close to what
it's not.
Doing. So, like, when you say things like that, it's hard for me to like truly take you serious because it's just it's goofy.
I don't think in hindsight, it's like you want to beat your rival, like you want to beat Florida State in that last game. But there is no doubt that Florida State would have benefited a million times more from going to a bowl game than Florida. I mean, here you got a Florida team that's going to practice 3 or 4 times for a bowl game. The Florida State would have probably got 12 in. They probably would have gotten like 10 to 12 practices in. This to me, it's almost, there's more risk to this than there is reward if you're Florida playing in this game. And I'm serious. I may not watch it. We've got groups tomorrow night, and I'll come home 30, 45 minutes into the game, and I don't even know if I'll it's a toss-up whether it's that or a Hallmark Christmas movie. I'll put it that way.
When the game is tomorrow? Oh, hell no, I'm not watching that game. Not even the troll.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I got other family obligations.
Well, the troll only works if the other side gets aggravated by it. There is nothing that any of you could tweet about Florida's game tomorrow night that I would be.
No, it won't aggravate. Like I said, that's why I'm calling you a professional. Any member in the media who gets aggravated, that covers Florida, that gets mad by this, you're basically in the same boat as, like, I guarantee Gator Dave's not going to get upset about anything that happens with this. And I'm just bringing him up. But, like, I know there's a couple guys that follow Florida that if I said something, they'll be quick to snap back. And
we beat Florida State.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, what bowl game y'all played?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like right now, that's what Miami wakes up every morning.
Stop being so. That's not original. Don't hit people with that.
Miami fans wake up every morning and hit us with that. Oh, you're 4th and 14. What you don't know is it helped us out more because we fired our coach and you'll be watching us at home. And I'm like, I don't even know what bowl game you're going to. Like that's that's where we've gotten messed up at. It only like last year would have been a dope troll because you played in a pretty good bowl,
right?
You had every shot to beat Bama, whatever, and
then played Oklahoma and got
the tarp. But you played in a legit bowl game,
Sugar Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, like if you're playing in like a New Year's 6 or whatever it's called, or like the Gator Bowl. I get the Gator Bowl is a pretty good bowl. Peach Bowl, those bowls that have some substance or meaning.
But the ones that are played after Christmas.
Right. If you're playing in like the Micron PC Bowl, you might as well. We gonna be home at the same time watching most of them together. Like you want whose house? Who's Steve? Who's big screen? Your big screen or my big screen? Because we all watching the good games together.
Everybody's opening gifts on Christmas Day. Nobody has to go back to school right after Christmas. It's well, that's the other thing about this variant thing that's spreading so quick. Like if I'm Georgia, if I'm Alabama, if I'm Michigan,
I'm keeping my kids away.
I'm keeping them school.
No. Bama let everybody go. They have COVID protocols.
I'm bringing them right back.
Well, Saban just said it yesterday, but I'm with you. But like when we come back for bowl, that's it.
Yeah, no,
like you're not
chilling. Seeing anybody.
Like, you're not even like well, coach. What if my first day? You're all in online classes. Mm-hmm. Your teachers have gotten the letter because for whatever reason, teachers in college know some hate it. Some have accepted it, but when that letter comes from coach and it's printed out, or that email comes, it means more than.
Listen, man, there's a high school in Georgia that just won a state championship. That the last 3 weeks of the playoffs, not a single football player went to school.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
They went to online learning.
I love it.
If they can do it in high school, you can do it in college, and that's exactly what I do. And by the way, I just named 3 of the 4. This is how disrespectful it is to Cincinnati. I forgot that they were the 4th. I've been the one stomping for the little guy to get a chance this year, but now that they've gotten a chance, I'm sitting here going.
I think it's because we know they got a chance and they're close. They'll be in the Big 12 soon, and they'll get more.
Yeah,
resources.
And if they weren't playing Alabama,
but they're playing Bama, though. We know
there's not going to be a slip up.
We know
if they were playing.
I feel Michigan, bad. I actually wish you would. If something bad happens to you and your team, I don't blame you. I blame Kirby Smart for dropping the ball. And who's the quarterback?
Stetson?
I blame Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett.
Disrespectful. Golly, dude was the quarterback of the number 1 team in the country.
He was the quarterback of the number 1 team in the country until he got mud stomped. I'll learn your name when you win something significant. Jeez. He should never be allowed in the state of Ohio if what happens to
blame Samson.
It's supposed to happen to
Benega.
Because it's not even him and who's the dude that looks like the guy from Green Mile? The Jordan
Davis?
Yeah, Jordan Davis. Because Jordan Davis just disappeared.
He did
in that game.
He got exposed.
Those men should never be allowed in the state of Ohio. If what happens to you, what should happen to you?
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Let's get to executive health and med spa real quick. Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. It's where you need to go if you're not feeling good. We joke all the time about what happens in the bedroom, but realistically, that doesn't have to be the case. Maybe you're just dragging around and you don't have any energy, or you just don't feel right. You don't need to go through life that way. Yeah, it can be fixed. You can get to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa off St. John's Bluff Road. They've got a real doctor in there. You can draw some blood. He can find out what's going on. He can tell you how to fix things. And then you're up and running. You're good to go. You're back to your old self, man. That's what you need to do. Don't drag through 2022. I started to say this earlier. Are you I'm a New Year's guy, dude. I am absolutely and I know it's just another day, but I'm absolutely a hit the reset button type of guy. Even if 2021 has been pretty good. Been pretty good for me. But I'm ready for 2022 to just go, okay. Now it's almost like a new energy.
Q4, even though this has been October, I had the first 6 weeks of Q4 were really great. Mm-hmm. The last wasn't bad. It was just everybody was basically done in what I do. Mm-hmm. Outside of I'm ready for 22 because I guess what happened with catching COVID kind of recharged me. Because not gonna lie, man, I never, it was because I was afraid. I don't know what happened. I think it was because I saw those hospital bills. I was like, I better make some money.
That and there's something too, also getting knocked out to where you have to sit your ass down for a month.
Right.
Nobody ever does that.
That's true. I did have to sit my ass down and I could not move like I wanted to. But when I got up, I haven't moved like that in quite some time. I was actually quite impressed with myself. So, but 2022, I have some bigger goals.
Yeah.
for things that I've seen do, like, so even with the nonprofit, I saw us go from me just saying I want to have a book bag drive randomly and doing what I need to do, got 500 books bags to 1,300 with the goal for 1,000. So now I'm going to go put more stress on myself and say, hey, I want to get 2,000 bags next year. To the, just thinking of those things like boom, boom, boom. I got those. Training business. Okay, if I want to get into it, I don't want to go fully, but here, if I can get this many clients, I'll be happy. Radio and where we could branch off with that, and the more things that we could do with some of the guys that we have right now.
Yeah, we're not, dude. We're slacking on this.
So I mean, I think it's just
we could do a lot more with this.
I think it's just fun. Like when you see January, when January rolls around, it's just you have more time to work because like football is pretty much done in a couple weeks, and then from there you just hit the ground running. I can't wait.
I've found that people who hate New Year's are the people who aren't very good at goal setting. It's like they just, to them, a goal is like, it might as well be a dream. You know what I mean? Like they set this unrealistic goal. And so by the second week of January, like, I'm never going to hit that, bump this, I'm going to drink. You know what I mean? So, because I used to be that guy. Now it's like, okay, you're not going to grow your business 1,000%. Okay. Let's start with like 12%. Let's start with like 25%.
Yeah.
If you set some crazy goal at the end of January, you're not there, then you're just going to tap out. You're not going to lose 100 pounds by March. Like, you know what I mean? They just learn to set goals, and you're going to be way better off. So anyway, that's my public service announcement, and that's also the reason why you need to get Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Sure, if you ask Doc to help you with the goals, he can help, especially physical goals.
Oh, physical goals, yeah. I don't know about helping your business grow 1,000%, but like he can give you the energy to be able to maintain it.
There you go. There you go. I want to get NFL real quick because, dude, the NFL product this year has been bad. Like I've been watching games, and it's like, on one hand, you look at the quarterback position, and there's so much young talent that we think are going to be the replacements for guys like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, and they're going to carry that torch. Like I'm talking about, like Kyler Murray. We thought this about Russell Wilson. But then on the other hand, it's like, are they really? Because every other week it seems like one of them's having a terrible game,
up and down,
or there's like it makes you realize how rare the consistency of some of these cats of the past is. That it's so, talent's one thing, consistency is a second. You know what I mean? Like you look at Peyton, you knew what you were going to get out of Peyton. You look at even guys like Drew Brees, you knew what you were going to get. You know what you're going to get out of Tom Brady. Like
except for when he plays New Orleans.
Well, I mean,
something
to that point, that was the first time he's been shut out, and
it's just
so long.
But it's like I don't think he's beaten New Orleans like in a few tries, but it's just weird.
Yeah, it is. So it's like, so who is that guy? I mean, I don't even know. Like Mac Jones is consistent. That's why he's getting. That's why he's getting praised so much. Outside of that, Justin Herbert seems to be kind of that guy.
Reminds me of Philip a lot.
Like Josh Allen's not that guy.
No.
Josh Allen, like I said, two completely different seasons.
Yeah, Josh Allen had that year where he just really blew up.
Last year,
but he's looking.
Baker's not that guy.
The first half of this year, Baker. We all knew that.
I mean, Russell Wilson, we thought was that guy, but now I don't think he's that guy. He should be in his prime right now.
Russell is a guy who just overachieved. Or let me put it back. I know this. I'm not trying to take any of your business. Please go get quarterback training. I don't care what level of football you're on. Pop Warner, I-9 flag football, to the pros. You can win a lot of games with a good running game and a good defense and a quarterback who protects the ball. When Russell was really, really good, we didn't talk about how great and potent their offense was. We talked about their defense and how great Pete Carroll built their defense with a bunch of guys who were mid-round draft picks that bought into a system that over time they couldn't pay anymore. You also got a running back who was basically ran out of Buffalo, and he flourished in your system and allowed your young quarterback to grow and develop into something. But as you see, Those pieces have all phased away, and you're left with just the quarterback in a quarterback league, and you can't win because you can win, but you can't get over the top. When you think about Tom Brady, now they didn't have a good running game, but we've always talked about how good their short, quick passing game was, and how that basically was a running game. And New England's defense was statistically, they were never like one of the top dogs, but from a point scored perspective, they were always good. They were always in that situation. You go back, we look at now the person who I was saying, I'm gonna go back to this, which is weird because I noticed a clip today. When Aaron Rodgers first got in the league, I remember them talking about how I think and this was rare because he was the only one doing this. It's like 70% of the snaps that he took was from shotgun. It was like a really, really high percentage compared to the rest of the NFL at that time. Well, I was watching clips of him under center and how he runs the play action. And it's a thing of vintageness.
Oh, yeah. It's
like it's the really selling it, tucking the ball away to where it's hidden, and it looks like the guy taking a second, then rolling out, like something that takes balls to do. Like a lot of the old school quarterbacks still have old school principles and old school mechanics that the NFL was meant to be played with because of how they make the field. The spread, these guys that we're bringing in now because of the college game is too much like college, and it's not fitting. It's football, but they're two different football games that they're playing. It won't change until either you bring in more spread guys and then they try to figure out how to adapt it, or it's going to always be the teams that tweak. But when you talk about Mac Jones, I go back to looking at, people look at the numbers that they put up, but Alabama is still like, Saban will beat your ass however you want to get your ass whooped. If he feels like running old school football, they can line it up, pound.
Well, remember, to your point, remember when the SEC had that streak of like 7 straight national championships? And who broke it? Florida State?
Yeah.
Was it FSU? FSU broke it. And I remember at that time, the SEC, where they were killing people, and the NFL game is all about your front seven. You got to have a good quarterback. That's a must. But it is literally 90% about your front seven.
Right.
And if you go look at that Florida State team that broke it, and you go look at the Clemson teams that competed.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the front sevens.
Front sevens.
I mean, you're talking NFL first, second, third round picks all the way across all defenses in the front seven. You're talking running backs who are dynamic at the NFL, offensive linemen still playing in the NFL. This is the way the NFL game is played. But where I was going is when you look through the teams and you say guys like Patrick Mahomes, if you had to win one game right now, would you say Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
All day. All day. The consistency, it's like it's a lost art in quarterback play right now. It's all about, can we make this throw that everybody's going to be highlights. Meanwhile, Aaron Rodgers, he's making those throws, but my man's hitting people in the face mask on the regular. He's setting protections where he can't get touched. Tom Brady, that's what makes him great. He never gets touched. Not because his offensive line's great. It's not that.
He knows where he's going with the ball, and he knows how to set his protection.
That's it.
Like, if you go, it's like even when you talk with fans, and not even just fans. Sometimes I have this argument with people who cover this game, this sport, like professionally. And they're like, man, this offensive line sucks. And I'm like, hey, maybe, but like, that's not their guy. He's got to know that's why they call it. When I play, I don't like it now. Having coach spread because of what you're trying, or RPO, what you're trying to do, there really is like if you just got a fast guy come off the edge, sometimes that's going to win because there is no hot read.
Well, again, the front seven.
Like, yeah, so it's like when I played, it was real simple. If your backs aren't blocking and you run the swing route, you have 5, they bring 6, you got to dump off to your backs. Or if they blitz, or if it's a 1-1, nobody brought field corners back then, but now they bring corners from there. Basically, wherever the corner's coming from, that wide receiver knew, boom, I'm getting the ball.
Yep.
And defenses did this in third and long situations because they knew they were going to try to dictate where you threw the ball.
Yep.
So like they know if we throw, if we do that, if he doesn't hold on to it, he gets rid of it. We just got to make that tackle. That's all we have to do, and we're off the field. Well, guys aren't doing that anymore. They're trying to, okay, well, if this guy comes, then we got to hand the ball off, or this route combination is supposed to do that.
Blitzes. Yeah, now you got that defensive end that drops into that alley where you normally would go.
Or you got Jalen Ramsey, who is 6'1", 6'2", but has the arms of a 6'6" guy that also runs a 4.4. That where in the traditional times you could dump the ball over his head if we're running a zone blitz or whatever. Now he can just he can bait you.
He eliminates that side of the field altogether.
Right. So it's like I think that's where some of the
think about what you just said though. So if you've got like a Jalen Ramsey, now you blitz from the same side Jalen's on, they still don't go to that side.
Right, because like that guy can cover. That guy can cover hash the numbers.
He covers ground
faster than like perfect example. DK Metcalf was wide ass open the other day. Now, in I think if I remember correctly, Russell threw it. It was behind him, but there was a safety over the top. There was only one place that he could throw it. DK Metcalf was open. Jalen just ran down, and because he's built like an orangutan, he can reach up and bat the ball down. Yep. He knows that. You know that. It's just difficult. Like sometimes it's not even a lot of brain in that. Like again, going back to why can't the offensive line? This tackle sucks. They can't block this defensive end. I said, he's 6'6", 275, and he runs a 4.5.
And you're asking blocking for 4 seconds.
It's like, so he's just a better why didn't it work? Because he's 6'6", 275 and runs a 4.5. You go block him. Mm-hmm. It's not easy. I've done it before. It's not. It's very difficult.
When you watch football, though, for me, like it's I've always been very pro NFL. I think there is a massive difference in the quality of the NFL and college. And anybody who says college football is better is no, it's not. It's not. It may be more entertaining to you, but it is not better. It's not even close. But because of the way we're running offenses now, and because of the flash throws, and because of the non-traditional off-platform, that doesn't make any sense, but we're going to make it work approach to offense. When games go bad, they go horribly bad. Mm-hmm. They go really bad. And it's like, I'm watching that Philly game last night, and I can't figure out if Jalen's any good or not. Like, I have no idea, because Jalen starts the game off like 8 for 9, and the incompletion was an interception. And then he has one throw where Dallas Goedert, who is a dog, by the way, bails him out. That could have been interception number 2, but it instead ended up being a 40-yard gain. Okay, so you see that on the stats, and you're like, he should have never thrown it there. The dude was triple covered. The route concept made 0 sense. There were 2 people in the same area. And he just threw it up, and it gets completed. They score the next play. Now, all of a sudden, you look on your fantasy team, and Jalen's got you 14 points because he's also got 70 yards rushing, right? And you're thinking, man, the Eagles are playing good. No, they're not. It's literally become the street ball equivalent of football. That's what offenses have become.
That's where, again, like I've said this numerous times on this show. Anybody who tells me, it's football, it's professional, but it's entertainment. Mm-hmm. It's a difference. College, that's why you have really, really good guys in college. I'll even use myself in that manner, that don't translate to the NFL. It's just not, I wasn't made for that league. Mm-hmm. It's why you can have, because it doesn't make sense for Chris Winkie to win a Heisman
and then do
nothing in the NFL.
And that happened a lot back then.
It happens to a ton of people, like Peter Warrick, to be considered one of the most electrifying players. Now I get why. I think if he would have been in this era, he would have been a better NFL player. But at that time, again, he didn't match the entertainment piece or what they needed him to do, what they thought was entertaining. So like right now, the quarterback is what the league is centered around. So what quarterback is exciting? Patrick Mahomes. Like Trey likes him. I get it. Like,
my son's favorite. We train like a dozen NFL quarterbacks. My son's favorite quarterback is somebody we don't train.
It's
Kyler Murray.
But put it like this: you probably have done this before, or we were talking about it on the show. But like, how many times did you put in pro day training, the whole run to the side, flick it back like that? Yeah. I've been a part of a pro day. That wasn't in my pro day. I wasn't asking quarterbacks to do that. They were asking quarterbacks to run the go route,
7-step play action.
Yeah, they was like traditional stuff. Wide receiver, run a dig, this, that. I mean, like now you got guys who are practicing in camps to throw a pass that you shouldn't be throwing consistently. But it's a part of the game. It's the no-look pass, which ironically Aaron Rodgers technically invented.
Matt Stafford too.
But it's the and one mixtape tour of football. You can't cross somebody up in football. Like remember when Allen Iverson entered the game? And which I guess people started talking about how boring the NBA or how bad the NBA basketball play got around that era which they went from being able to run man and running zone illegal, but the way AI was crossing people up and man to man, they allowed it. So everybody started doing that. So now the game and it took some years for it to really advance to where, okay, I don't care who you are. You're not going to just make my knees touch like that often. Now you see, that's what makes the some of the guys that elite. Who's the crazy dude who thinks the world is flat? Kyrie Irving. So guys like him with amazing ball handling skills, like he's that good because everybody else is that much better at defense, whether the old heads want to admit that or not.
Right.
But I think that's what it's going to take a few years for the NFL to adapt to that.
Put it this way, so we're running these series of camps this year, and the first one was easy because we just called it a holiday camp. But it's like, okay, what do we want to call these camps? And so one of the guys that I work with, Will, we decided, he brought this up. There's this thing called a blue ocean strategy.
I read the book. I have it on my iPad.
Yeah. And so that's what we're naming the camps. We're naming the camps the blue ocean camps because it literally basically what it says is when everybody's doing it one way, run the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here watching football right now, and I'm like, yeah, it's cool, it's fun, it's entertaining, but it's not effective. It's not effective. Like, it's too easy to figure out from a quarterback perspective. Like, guys aren't, in some ways we're making the game too complicated. In other ways, we're not teaching the right things at the right time to the right early age. And it's like we've completely changed our curriculum to mix in old school, new school, and just head in a different direction that equals better results. Mm-hmm. Right? I mean, that's it. Okay, you can throw a ball 65 yards rolling to your left. Okay, that's good when that happens at 3 times per year.
Right.
But look at Trevor. Trevor locally is a perfect example. When you have a completion percentage that is bad, that means that you're not completing 90 to 95% of the easy passes. Mm-hmm. That's what that means. In order to have a 70% completion percentage, you've got to hit those easy balls 90% of the time.
Right.
You don't see it in the NFL. You don't see it. Like, you see a high completion percentage, but who we see it from? We see it from Drew Brees.
The guys who have played in it forever. It's the guys.
Aaron Rodgers.
Like, even in 7-on-7 camps, like I joke, even in practice, like I would joke with my running backs. Hey, man, just come over here, chill. Yep. Like, Coach, they'll yell, Coach, why aren't your guys doing? Because you're not going to freaking throw us the ball. We're going to be wide open, and you're going to throw the ball downfield to the double cover guy no matter what.
Yep.
I said, you're not going to take the guy, like, especially in high school ball. You're not going to throw it to a good athlete who's on a bad athlete and a Mike linebacker and let us get you 10 yards. You're going for the pass that you should only throw 3 to 4 times a game.
Yep.
And pray that you have a 75% completion.
That's right.
If it's that wide open, then we're playing ducks.
Yep.
And it's child abuse.
It's so frustrating, man. I see on Instagram all the stuff that we were doing 5 years ago that people were making fun of us for. Now everybody's doing. Sports Illustrated is writing articles about like this foot pop strategy that everybody made fun of us about. Right. So now time to go the other way.
But and also I'll put it like this. I think wide receivers aren't getting off of routes because Jacquez Green talks about this all the time. And I talk about it all the time because they used to do this and say this was good for speed training. This cha-cha slide shit is not how you run a route. Like, and the problem is they'll use the most. Tyreek Hill could do a jumping jack off the line and then run a route fast. Mm-hmm. Your kid is not Tyreek Hill. It's just like when we talked about Derrick. Derrick Henry can stand on a stability balance, whatever the thing is, and pretend that he has a stiff arm like that. As a guy who's worked with them, that's God-given. That is like his Thor hammer.
That's right.
You can't train that. Like, you ain't got that. What we need to do is get you from point A to point B as fast as possible. And so it's throwing off timing. You can't tell me this is not throwing off timing when you have 3 seconds to throw the ball.
No, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It's just a lot of guys who I have no idea.
We just made that our 8 o'clock and we didn't even get to Green Acres.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
No.
When you start to talk about these damn cones, you know what? You tell me that my price is too high. You know what I'm going to tell you? Go find one of them damn cone chasers. And when you come back to me, it's going to be double what I told you the last time.
Well, y'all think that the highest percentage this year so far?
The highest completion percentage?
Yeah. I saw something that was weird.
It's not Aaron Rodgers?
Tua?
Oh, yeah, it is Tua. So Tua, yeah. Okay, so no,
he's
that's
actually
a great
come
point,
a long way. Tua tag-alongs.
Tua came a long way, but you know who came further is their play calling.
Oh, okay.
If you watch a Miami game, they are throwing so many of those 90% passes I talk about, and they're being selective. Where's Mac Jones in that? He's pretty high too. It's same exact thing.
It's somebody else. 2 people at 69%.
Okay. Kyler's just a beast. Kyler's a beast.
To your point, and Tua's been like this, and I noticed this when we play the game. The only reason I pay attention to Tua is because I'm petty, and and he's a friend of mine. I like him. He's a good guy.
Bernie?
No, Bernie too. It just gets on Bernie's nerves every time I talk about Tua. But I got a friend from down that way, Dibby. 2 people he always talks about like they're his children, Xavier Howard and Tua, whatever. And I'm like, so I say Saban, like, it's not even that I believe he sucks. He's having a bad year. But I'm like, but he'll be like, he's not better than Jalen. So we didn't prove that he's the only person in America who believes that Xavier Howard is better than Jalen. So now we just go over the top and be like, Xavier sucks. Like, it's just like, look at him. And he's been getting cooked a couple games, played better. Actually, the entire Dolphins team has played better. But when I watched Tua against the Jags, it was like he's just not scoring.
Yeah.
He's not taking the deep ball, but he's taking what you give him. And it's almost like defense, but now they're winning. But when they were going on a losing streak, defense coordinator's like, yeah, whatever.
They're doing a very good job.
Keep him in front.
They're doing a great job of moving the chains. Like, that's what they're doing. And he's the perfect example of what we're talking about. Green Acres, get to Green Acres. If you haven't gotten that last minute Christmas gift, get to Green Acres.
Man,
like, get over there, get a gift certificate, get some boots, get a knife, well, you can't really buy a gun for somebody. They're gonna have to go buy it themselves.
They gotta go buy it,
but you know what I mean. Take your man to Green Acres. Just say, come on, we're gonna get some barbecue in Green Acres.
Oh man, I gotta get over there. But let me so this is good. Can I give them a customer service spotlight?
Sure.
I'm not gonna say who.
Customer service spotlight.
Yeah, like somebody went over there.
Okay.
Somebody, you know how they be.
I just like how you just named it.
You saw how Bobby, mom, cat, mom. Anyways, we were talking at the Gator Nova function.
Okay, yeah.
And he said some.
Yeah.
Like, do they have this P90X rifle series gunpowder? Blah blah. I'm like.
Then he doubled down with the safe.
I was like, I have no idea, but I can ask. And then it's like, whatever your request is, people text me all the time. I have no idea what any of this stuff is because I'm learning about guns. I'm not going to be one of you arrogant jokers that pretends like they know everything. I'm learning. Z knows a lot more about guns than I do. And every time I text him these very specific requests,
he's on it.
He never says no. It's always like, yeah, we got it. And we got this, blah, blah, blah. Then it's like, so this one, I asked him about it was a gun. It was he was like, all right, which one they want? 9mm or 380? We got both. And I'm like, okay. And so I sit it back. My guy goes over there, drops 3 bands.
Nice.
On a safe and a gun. And he was like, and what he says was, they're better salespeople than I am. He's like, I wasn't going. He's like, I knew exactly what I wanted. And that's what I went in there for. And then they're like,
you don't want
it was almost like, have you seen the Dave Chappelle? Have you seen the Dave Chappelle?
Got something special just for you right over here.
He's like, I need something to shoot him, man. He's like, here you go. Here's this shotgun right here. He's like, but you need bullets? Yeah, I need. There's birdshot and then there's buckshot. Birdshot will pepper them up real nice. But that won't kill a man. So, I'm not saying they said that, but what happened was they were like, hey, you need, would you like woo, woo, woo? you know what? Since you came in here, blah blah blah, Sports then sent you. If you get this, we're gonna give you this. And then it was like nice. They took care of him. Took care of him. All he talked about was how great the customer service was and how they hooked him up.
That's why you need to go to Green Acres. Get you a flamethrower, a musket.
A
musket under the tree. I want a picture of one of our listeners that's got a musket under the tree.
I just want to shoot one before I buy it. Like, see, I really want to shoot a musket. I don't know why, but it just seems fun.
All right, we got to get out because I got to get to the facility. We were talking about traditional, and I got a quarterback in college that they're converting to under center. So we got 2 weeks to get him ready for under the center stuff. Sucks. Oh, well. That's where I'm headed. Get to thehumidor.com as well. Type in Sports Den when you check out for all your cigar needs, 20% off of your order. Probably won't get here by Christmas at this point, but it can get here by New Year's. Bring in 2022 smoking something.
Yeah.
From thehumidor.com. Sounds like a good plan to me. All right, we'll talk to you guys on Friday.